That's what graffiti, I feel, is a voice of the ghettos. As kids, like growing up in barrios or ghettos or poverty, they're writing on the walls and releasing their expression out in a poor neighborhood where really no one cares because it's broken down. Donor 1, SK, FTL, IFK, 7th letter crew. Originally from East Los Angeles, exactly probably northeast Los Angeles, a city called El Sereno, California. I was born in the 70s, late 70s, like an 80s baby, so it was like a working class Mexican-American neighborhood. I want to say I first discovered graffiti probably was 4th grade. My mom put me in a private school, Sycamore Grove. It was in Highland Park, California, and it bordered like the LA River. And every Friday, we'd actually build popsicle stick boats and go race them in the LA River. But as you ran along the banks of the LA River, it was filled with graffiti from like legends from like the 80s that I looked up to, UTI Crew, LOD, K4P, filled with cartoon characters and colorful stuff. And as a kid, it caught my eye. And actually, I think, actually broke into our school one day and actually did graffiti on our handball courts and our stuff. And, I got to school and the teacher lowered the blinds. She goes, "That's horrible, those are bad." And I was like, "That's so awesome." And I got detention for like 3 days. But that's where I can see my first fire for like graffiti art started. And I started drawing. I didn't know what it was, but it kind of gave me that fire for graffiti art. My name actually came to me from my older cousin. He's actually, he was probably 4 years older than me. And I used to go visit, I was from a divorced family, so when I go visit my mom, she's from East Los Angeles, I'd hang out with those cousins, and they are right there. And actually one day came up to me and he said, he goes, "You're Donor." And I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, and he gave me a piece of paper and it had like 3 hand styles on it. He goes, "That's your tagging name." He goes, "That was my name." And I go, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "I got jumped into Sereno Locke Street. I'm a gangster now." And that was like the 90s of when gangs, the Crips and the Bloods, the Menace to Society, the whole Tupac, Biggie thing was on. So gangs was kind of from the hip-hop breakdancing era of the 80s where everyone was cool and, and just didn't gangbang. LA took on the full gangbanging scene. So he, I guess, left graffiti and went on to gangbanging and passed his name down to me. In my aspect, growing up in East LA, and I was on the Fox Undercover News as a young 15-year-old kid, it kind of boosted me into that limelight, into fame, into everyone knew who I was. So as a young kid, I didn't know how to accept that. I had people crossing me out, or I had a gang cross me out, and I had people going to my school wanting to jump me, and I'm like, "For what? What did I do to you?" And they're just, "Well, you're Donor, fuck you," or, it's just the jealousy and hate that comes with it, and it's streets. There's no rules to it, so you can't say, "Why are you picking on me?" or "Why did you cross out my stuff?" You gotta defend yourself. You gotta fight back, and if not, it shows your name. Your name's out there, it's crossed out, everyone's seen it. And if you don't do nothing about it, what kind of shows that your name's like, you're a bitch? So me and my cousin giving me that name and knowing he went on to gangs, I approached him, and this is where, growing up, and I was like, "Man, I got mad beef, I got guys wanting to kick my ass." And he was like, "Well, if you want to be from a hood, they'll back you up, but you won't be a tagger." So growing up in LA, you got to do what you got to do. You're gonna run with the homies, you got to run with the homeboys. So I did what I had to do, and I'm glad I survived it. And I didn't get shot, I didn't die, and I didn't get in trouble for any of the felonies I did, and I was able to escape. It got a little too crazy for me, so I see my escape was to join the military. I was like, if I'm gonna die, if I'm gonna get shot, I might as well at least shoot with the big guns and with the baddest gang of the world, which would be the United States military. So, and I also figured out having that criminal mentality, at least if they can train me to shoot and kill and make me that better criminal, and how to climb on buildings and rappel out a helicopter. I was like, hey, that would make me like the ultimate criminal, government trained. So that was my mentality joining the military. And until I joined, it matured me, and I actually changed my thoughts on life as far as like career and job and family, because all I knew was East Los Angeles. But once you join the military, they pull you out and you meet guys from all over the world. You travel the world and you see there's more than the street that you're willing to die for. I have the problems everyone else has, the bills, the creditors, the mortgage, you know, the son, the family, the tickets. And my way to balance that out, some people look to alcohol, some people look to UFC fighting, some people go to church, some people look to religion. My release on life is graffiti. It's an awesome feeling I can't really explain. You know, it's sex, drugs. It's more than that. As graffiti artists, that's what the bombers chase. You know, that's the fulfilling, you know, that's the ultimate high, that's the drug that we want. What I hope for my graffiti career, I could kind of, actually right now, I could be happy with it, you know, because as a kid, I didn't think it was going to come to what it is right here. You know, I just was doing it because I was doing it. I just would like to write the legacy of how LA graffiti and what I went through. I didn't make it up. I'm not saying I started graffiti or I'm the OGs. I'm just a kid that happened to be born in the time where graffiti was barely starting in the city of Los Angeles.